No one noticed the old woman collapse at first. Not the businessmen laughing loudly at the corner table. Not the influencers filming their coffee for social media. Not even the manager standing behind the counter, counting money. But when a young waitress dropped her tray, knelt on the cold marble floor, and wrapped her arms around the trembling woman. The entire restaurant laughed. Someone muttered, "She's doing it for tips." Another whispered, "Probably homeless." No one knew that in less than 1 hour, every single person in that room would wish they had stood up sooner. Her name was Elena. She worked double shifts at the café, 6 days a week, earning just enough to survive. Her shoes were worn thin, her uniform faded from endless washing. But her eyes were gentle in a world that had grown sharp. The old woman had entered alone, walking slowly with a trembling cane. Her coat was outdated, her hair neatly tied back despite the fraying edges. When she reached the counter, her hand shook as she tried to read the menu. A young man behind her sighed loudly. "Can you hurry up?" he snapped. The woman apologized softly. Minutes later, as she carried her tea toward a small table near the window, her cane slipped. The cup shattered. She fell hard. Gasps turned into chuckles. "Elena, don't bother," the manager said sharply. She didn't even order food. But Elena was already kneeling. She ignored the laughter, the stares, the whispers. She gently lifted the woman's head, checking her breathing, whispering comforting words like she had done once before. Long ago, to her own grandmother. "Stay with me," Elena said softly. "You're safe." The old woman clutched her hand like a lifeline. "I'm sorry," the woman whispered. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." Something broke inside Elena. She helped her sit up, wiped the spilled tea, and wrapped her own apron around the woman's shoulders to keep her warm. Someone laughed again. "That's dedication for a tip," a man joked. Elena didn't respond. Because she didn't know it yet. But the woman trembling in her arms had once rocked a baby in a mansion worth more than this entire street. The man froze. He was tall, impeccably dressed, his presence commanding the room without effort. Many recognized him instantly. Daniel Roth. Billionaire. Tech empire founder. One of the richest men in the country. He hadn't planned to stop at the cafe. His driver had suggested it while waiting for a meeting nearby. But the moment Daniel saw the waitress kneeling on the floor, and the old woman clutching her hand, his face drained of color. "Mother," he whispered. The room went silent. The old woman's eyes filled with tears. "Daniel. I didn't want to trouble you." Every laugh evaporated. Every phone lowered. Every arrogant smile disappeared. Daniel rushed forward, ignoring everyone else, kneeling beside Elena and his mother. "She collapsed," Elena said quickly. "She needs to sit." I think her blood sugar dropped. Daniel looked at Elena, not at her uniform, not at her worn shoes, but at her steady hands, her calm voice. "You saved her," he said quietly. The manager stammered. "Sir, we didn't know." Daniel raised a hand. "My mother raised me alone," he said, his voice steady but cold. "She taught me one thing above all else." He turned slowly to face the room. "How you treat someone when you think they have nothing shows who you really are." He helped his mother up, wrapping his jacket around her shoulders, the same shoulders people had mocked moments earlier. Then he turned back to Elena. "You dropped your tray," he said. Elena nodded nervously. "I'm sorry." "I can pay for it." Daniel shook his head. "No," he said. "But I can." That cafe would never be the same. Elena's student loans were paid off that day. She was offered a full scholarship through Daniel's foundation. The manager who told her not to bother fired before sunset. And the people who laughed. They sat in silence, realizing they had just witnessed the moment kindness exposed cruelty.